Okay, we need to talk about the future. We need to talk about the program. We need to talk about why certain things happen. I know we think that we can just, stop everything and create this perfect world, but I want to just share with you how that works. Now, I do have information. If you've read my book, and I hope that you do, it was meant for this time period, and it answers all of your questions. Now, no human can possibly have 100% access to all information, because as long as we're in dense form, there's a part of us that has ignorance and unconsciousness still within our energy field. I'm going to explain how this works. I want to explain to you what's going to happen ongoing so that you understand it and you realize this is a very special time period. I want you to know you can get comfortable with it if you choose. It's all good. Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. Those of you who've been with me for a time period, I hope you share my videos. My channel has never had any issues whatsoever, no matter what we've gone through. I'm very careful about what I talk about, but not because I'm holding back, but because there's always something amazing to share with you. We don't have to go into anything fear-based. There's no reason for it. I wrote Breakthrough Fear to let you know, and this is what we're going to talk about today because it affects the entire future. I'm going to talk about how the matrix works, all of it. Yeah, I know. I'm going to tackle this today, all right? I wrote Breakthrough Fear because fear is a part of the program. You never eliminate it. It actually serves a good purpose, and I'm going to discuss that. When we break through it, we know it's there, but we don't allow it to control us. I'm going to help you today. Boy, I've got so much to share with you. We're going to talk about some predictions that I heard. I purposely went and listened to a couple things, and it was hysterical. All right, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you what the program is, what's going to be happening here out on our planet, and why that's happening. I'm going to tell you what happens within the matrix itself and how much control we do have over it, because you really, really do. And I hope that you'll subscribe. And again, please, please share my videos. When I grow this channel, it allows me to actually do this. I do this for a living. I coach people. I help people create planet-conscious businesses. This is free if you want to check that out. I coach people to break through fear. My whole life is dedicated to you, giving you options so that you can choose that space, and you can do that. Watch any one of my videos. You can do that at any point. It's always a choice. So let's talk about what the matrix is, what's going to be happening moving forward. A couple of predictions that I heard that I think is hysterical, and I have the feeling you're probably hearing this stuff out there, and it's probably putting fear in you. The Matrix has a program that it's playing out for us. We went to a specific university that teaches specific lessons. That's it. Okay? So within the university, it specializes. Ours is specializing in evolution and coming out of unconsciousness. It's specializing in the varied frequencies that we can experience. We get to experience all that here. That's not what's going on out in most other places, which is unlimited. So sort of silly to even say that. This university is the contrast and the unconsciousness to consciousness. You graduate, all right? Consciousness is graduation. That doesn't mean you stop being let's say, a human being with unconscious aspects. When I say unconscious aspects, I mean no matter how awakened you go into this, when you're in this form, you will still have a veil between you and what else is going out there. Otherwise, you would just be so overwhelmed with the information and the knowledge that you actually are. So we have a veil so that we can play here, because you chose to play here. The mission is not to escape this, it's to master this. All right, so when you play Pac-Man, you know, Donkey Kong doesn't show up, a gorilla doesn't show up, Pac-Man's on there, right? It would confuse the heck out of you. It's like, what is this? We are on planet Earth. We're playing out the diversity, the separation, that's the big one. Separation, density, unconsciousness. That's the program. With that comes constant challenges. Otherwise, it's not school. You don't go into a classroom and you go, okay, I have one test, let's sit around, let's go have lunch. No, there's another test and another level and another class and another expertise. So now you overcome forgiveness, now you have to overcome judgment, now you have to overcome whatever. Or at least, and when I say overcome, I mean understand it and evolve from it. That's it. And so many of you, because it's painful, that's the contrast we experience. It's painful to have pain and loss and all these things. And those of you who've lost, this is really cool, because I said to you there's an exit going on. I have watched absolutely nothing about that. Nothing. I don't watch other spiritual teachers. None of that, ever. Okay? I did used to watch Greg Braden. I stopped. He got a little dark for me. Because it was more scientific. What I want to share with you is that the exit is part of the program of people who have done what they were supposed to do or taken it as far as they want to take it, and now it's time to leave the planet. Now, I watched a prediction I'm going to share with you here in a moment, just for kicks, because it's a well-known person. I'll tell you who it is in a minute. And they actually said the exact same thing, that there was an exit going on right now. And I thought, wow, that's really interesting, because I never want to hear something out there, because it could be in my subconscious and I could be spewing something that actually somebody else told me. All right? So when you hear me talking, I'm watching no news, no nothing. I did watch the vice president debates. They were actually nice to each other. Wow, what a concept. No insulting going on. What's up with that? Maybe they're growing up. I'm going to talk about predictions. I'm going to still talk a little bit more about Edgar Cayce. I'm going to talk about this other prediction, and I'm sharing with you right now, you don't get out of the Matrix program until you exit. Those of you who are really just had enough of it, it's because you're so entrenched in it, you don't understand how much control you have over it, because your reality is completely under your control. The classroom, the tests, the challenges will be there, but when you walk into that classroom, you can ace it. When somebody next to you flunks, but the test is still the test. All right, that's what this is. Now, there is part of the program is that the planet's changing, she's evolving, with or without us. She will evolve. What we thought it was going to stay like this forever. I'm like, hello, McFly. So what we're doing right now is participating in now the evolution of her, but we are going into a spiritual awakening. Now, this is interesting because Edgar Cayce did talk about this. So I went and studied a little bit more about Edgar Cayce, and he said that during the time period of the evolution of the planets, the flooding, all this stuff, that humanity will go into a more highly spiritual state of being. And that's happening now. Now, the interesting part is that's the first time I heard that, but you've heard me say in videos, through my own just knowledge, that right now the reason why things are shifting so much and people exiting, all these things happen because we're going into a higher frequency, which allows us to now make the big changes on the planet that will take her into graduation. Actually, us, not her. All right? She's fine without us. Much better off without us. So what's happening is Edgar Cayce said that we are going to go through these earthly cataclysmic events, that we are going to go into a higher consciousness, that there will be great, beautiful results from that, all right? At no point did Edgar Cayce talk about any kind of final war. Never. I couldn't find it. Couldn't find it. I've told you that I have not seen that. I do not sense that it is ever going to be. Conflicts, yes. But something catastrophic to the planet, no. Actually, I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to promote fear. I watched somebody who's a big name, and he was with she reads horoscopes, astrologist. See, I don't even know this stuff. And as I shared with you, I'm not into any of that stuff because, first of all, they're all over the board. And again, whatever they say is going to affect you, and you've got to be so careful with that. And that's why you should not watch these predictions out there from people that you know could put fear in you. What's the purpose of that? It actually shifts your energy. You go into fear, and in the back of your head, you've got that energy field with you now. In the back of your head, you're actually creating it. We don't want to do that. I have not seen anything. I know that Edgar Cayce has not seen anything. I'm pretty sure Nostradamus hasn't seen anything. What he did see has happened. That was the other conflicts that we've had, not in this time period. If we make it to this, we're okay. We've made it to this. The planet is going to shift. Those things will happen. That's part of the program. All right, we can handle it. All right, we signed up for the classes. And the whole point is not to avoid these things. It's how we behave during them. Now, if somebody gives a prediction and tells you some horrible thing, you carry that energy field, and because you're so powerful, you can help contribute to creating it. I want you to stay away from that stuff. I do. It's your choice. But I know you'll be better off for it, and so will the collective, because we participate in this program. We're changing the program. We are the program creators. We're not in the program. So those of you who feel like you've been thrown into the program and you have no control, nope. Let's take it up a notch. You are the creator. You're the created. You're the player. Yeah, you're everything. Now, this person, the astrologist, predicted that Biden was going to go into office and that Harris would replace him because apparently something would happen to him. Well, I'm going to guess that too, because hey, when you're about 90 years old, there's a very good chance somebody who's already not in good health could bug out, right? Shocker. I can predict that one all day. Yes, he's going to exit. I shared with you my premonition. And here's where I want you to know that when I see things and other people see things, if they give you information that is so negative and it's something that is that humans can control. I'm not talking about, people have premonitions of water and things like that. I'm talking about human stuff. We can control all of the results of that. That none of that ever has to happen because humans with free will have control to change that. And we have. We have changed it. We have gone into it. We have avoided some very big human cataclysmic events. I saw the White House. It was very dark. There was a Christmas tree, a huge Christmas tree, and the staff was there. Everybody was in suits. I didn't see who was in office, but I knew that it was Christmas. It was Christmas. And that whoever was in office was leaving. I didn't know who was coming in. I didn't say why they were leaving. I just knew they were leaving. They were very somber because that person was leaving. So that told me that Biden was not going to be our next president. If that person was leaving, and that's all I knew. I didn't elaborate and create all kinds of stories and make assumptions, and that's what a lot of these people do. They say, well, if he's not in there, that means, you know, whoever else is coming in. And that was before he bailed out, all right? So I had no information on any of that stuff. Now, here's what I want you to know. The person that they were talking about and keeps talking about the most horrific event that could happen, and that is conflict on a, you know, really high level. It's the only person that I've heard, because I don't listen to any of that stuff, that has said that. The astrologist had made predictions. None of them came true. She was way off base, all right? The big kahuna that gave predictions from a year ago, he's been wrong, all right? He's been wrong. So by sharing something so horrific with the public, he is just sitting there with his ignorant mouth spewing fear. All right? So he could be giving messages that we're in control. Here's what we need to do. Place your attention here. No, he's creating negative information that allows people to pull in that negative energy field, go into fear. He knows there are millions of people out there that all you have to do is say something like that, and they go into fear because they don't think they have control over their lives. And then we go into another space. Well, you and I don't. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We're past it, okay? We're still in the program with the challenges, though. So we get to create things within the challenges. So, you know, conflict, all those things, that's under our control. The program itself is the evolution of the planet. It's going to be some what we call cataclysmic events, but we contributed to that too, right? With our pollution and all those. So it's not standing alone. So we get to now repair the things that have been done in ignorance. With consciousness, we get to start to repair. That is the next advanced class. All right? So I want you to understand you don't get out of the challenges. None of them. You personally will have them. They are no longer a problem. You will see them differently and recognize they are the glory. It's like the professor comes in and says, Nancy, Bob, step up here. Great job. Now I'm going to give you another test, and you're going to go up to the higher level. What would you do? You'd go, yay! Okay, I'll take it on. Yeah. But here, no, we don't think that way. We're going, I just got through this, and now this is showing up. And you're this helpless, feeble little thing. That's density, unconsciousness. You just haven't broke through it yet to realize consciousness is not escaping this. It's recognizing what is and going, oh crap, I got to take that test. I better master it. If I don't, I'm going to sit in that classroom over and over and over again. That's it. Don't overcomplicate this. I get people, I have students all day in business and in the mindset, and they just don't believe in themselves. They question things, and I'm like, man, if you knew. But here's the thing, is when we go after those goals, as soon as we're not getting the results we want as a dense human being, we think something's wrong. I'm not accomplishing it. This can't happen. We don't understand. There's still challenges to get there. That will never stop. I know I'm a business owner. It's not easy. But I'm doing what I believe in. I'm doing what I'm passionate about. I'm making a difference in the way I want to make a difference that is changing lives. What are you doing for a living? You know, I promote my book all the time. It was written for you. That was information. So when you get out of the way, you access everything, but you still play out the human role. If you get comfortable with that in your discomfort, you'll have days when you go, I love being a human, it's wonderful, things are great, and the next day, get me out of here. You're not alone. Every awakened person feels that. They look around, especially the more awakened you are, the more you see how insane this place is by choice. But the density doesn't recognize that. Now, here's what you're going to see happening. We got some stuff that's going on here. First of all, we had solar flares. It took out some of our cell phones here. We had some big ones. We're going to have more of that. We're going to have more flooding. We're going to have more stuff. I have had premonitions of this. I haven't talked about it with you because I'm like, why? I'm just seeing stuff. I can't do anything about it. I can do things about our lives, what you choose. You guys see this? Stop using poisonous, toxic toothpaste and then throwing your tubes out there, millions of them. No toxins. It does have some stuff in it, but it's not poisonous. Comes in glass. You order in a paper sack every day. I'm telling you, every little thing you do counts. Everything it cleans up. Your energy field, it stops putting crap out there. It's okay. If I can buy it, it's okay, right? No, it's not. You're the change maker. That future, if you are focused on things that you're watching out there, the fear base, will never happen if we're over here working on this. And that is your mission, if you choose to accept it. What are you going to focus on? All right? So when you're doing this, even if that happens, okay, whatever. Anyone who speaks fear or violence, insults, negativity, run. And I know some of you know that there are some people out there that are doing that you're going to say it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. No tolerance. I will not support that. Do I accept it? I accept that that's the choice the person makes. No tolerance doesn't mean you don't accept it. No tolerance is not saying you're wrong. No tolerance is saying it's not going to be in my energy field. I will not interact with negative energy. All right? And you know negative energy when you hear it. There's a lot of it out there. And the minute somebody goes into that space, get away from it. And it could be in the form of something wonderful. And then you hear those words of conflict and hate or anger, of blame and separation. And that's powerful. There are people who can speak those words and get others to do horrific things. We've seen that before. Need I say the person's name that starts with an H? How did that happen? This little Jewish man, did you know he was Jewish? This little Jewish man, so full of anger and hate, got so many people to do hateful things. He preyed on their egos and their density. And so they, who are feeling like they're nobody, all of a sudden became important. They're important now. They're the superior ones, and that's how it works. It's all mind games. And that's density. So you got to look at it for what it is and know that the meek shall inherit the earth. They don't need to manipulate or criticize or separate. They would never go into anger or violence or conflict of any kind. But they won't tolerate that bad. I'm not going to tolerate the abuse of anything. If I have control over it, I will take action. And then we're going to give you an option to make a different choice. I'm not going to pat you on the back because you're experiencing density. So shut down those predictions. I told you that I went and watched the horoscope. One guy is supposed to be really outstanding, and he comes across amazing. And he changed my horoscope over, and it went from this, oh my God, this year's, and then the next day it was something completely different. I thought, how did that happen? He's pulling some cards. He's pulling cards. I didn't touch those cards. And then I'm counting on his interpretation. And then somebody else says something completely different. It's bull crap. Because it's made up. And you can make up your life too. You're the creator. So if you listen to that and you walk around with that energy field, you're creating your future. We are going into a higher frequency. You either are on that floor or you're not. It's the game. It's the mansion. We're not separate from each other. We're still in that same mansion together. We just don't see each other. We're aware. We're aware of that. They're not aware of that. They're not in touch with that. And they're not separate, by the way. This, oh, they and the evil, and what about that? And I said, you're still separating. You're still doing it. You're still separating. That's not separate from us. That hate and anger, that evil, that is not separate from us. It's an expression of the same energy field that creates everything. I know it's tough. Why? You'll know why when you leave. You'll realize how powerful this was, how amazingly expansive it is to know that darkness makes light. Oh my gosh, so much more amazing. You can't know it until you've seen something different from it. How great does it feel to help somebody? And you see that light in their eyes and you realize, I didn't know I held that power until I got an opportunity that seemed horrible to demonstrate light. And that's what you're supposed to do. It's that simple. It's a program. You're in Pac-Man. Donkey Kong won't show up. You gotta master it. You gotta take the class at the university and go to the next lesson, the next course, the next whatever it is. You don't have to be okay with this. You don't have to be okay with it. That's okay to not be okay. But breaking through fear recognizes that I can experience this stuff. It's not wrong. I stop fighting it, and I experience being human with all the crap that comes with it that you don't like. And there's a lot I don't like. And there's a lot of things I think, why do we have to go through this? Enough. And then I realize I can't quit. You can't quit. Because if you contribute toward that negativity, you'll stay there. I don't want you to stay there. All right, somebody asked me to do a video on addiction. I'm just going to address that right now. It's just an escape. This is a difficult place to be. It's just an escape. Now, once you go into the escape and it feels good, you're programming the dense physical world. So you have to unprogram that. If you guys have read any books, there's some very amazing spiritual teachers out there who talk about that there's still a human body that gets programmed that's serving you. Bing, 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 sets off the, the little nerves and communication system. You got to break those. Joe Dispenza, read his book. He talks about science. You'll probably fall asleep. It's pretty deep. But he talks about breaking those. You have to break them, and you'll still have some desire to go back to it because you programmed yourself. That's part of it. You put that program in there. It's going to want to go back to that. It knows it. It's an escape, and it feels good. Who wouldn't want to do that? Well, I don't do that. I've never been someone who took drugs. But I understand it. But I, personally, to me that would be like, not doing this would be the end of me. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I've thought about that. And as long as there's somebody on the other side of this camera that says I made a difference, I'm going to hang in as long as possible. I didn't go glub glub yet. I told you if we go under, and we did, if that's the way I go, it beats laying in bed, you know, getting with diapers on, getting fed. I'm going to be walking around. I'm going to be doing whatever I can. What about you? Wouldn't that feel a lot better? So whatever you're dealing with, break through it. Break through it. You know, this is free. I do have a course. It's been unbelievably successful. I have 5 stars. It's called Breakthrough Fear. It's extensive. It's for life. And it's changed lives. But you have to do the work. Just read the book. It could change your life. It has a lot of energy in it, a lot of power in it. I'm not just saying that because it came from a source that I put in directly exactly what came to me, and I didn't try to change it. I didn't edit things out. I have audio now. The audiobook's available, those of you, in beautiful British accent too. You guys ready? Please subscribe, and we're going to talk more about this. So can you relax and know that it's happening exactly the way it should? Here's the next challenge. Here's the next class. Can I master it? Who am I going to be within the challenge? Am I going to be hoarding and in fear and I should buy extra stuff or do all this crap or get a weapon or whatever it is you think you need to do? Or if this is how I go out, I'd rather give my food to somebody else and starve to death than hold back to a body that's going to leave here at some point anyways. Didn't say it was going to be easy. It's going to pay off for you big time. It's going to blow your mind, and it's going to happen here in this lifetime. You're going to start to get it, if you haven't already. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Stay away from that negativity out there. Don't let it into your energy field. No tolerance. Namaste.